Reporting from the Philippines, here's correspondent Paul Beeben.
Welcome to Manila, the capital of the Philippines. Population 15 million and counting. It's a smoggy, sprawling, tropical megacity. And most of what Manila throws away ends up here, at a place called Payatas. It's an absolutely enormous garbage dump on the city's northern outskirts. Payatas is a towering flat-top mountain of trash. It's also the epicenter of a dark economy. An economy that runs on trash and toil. It is efficient, profitable, and brutal. The mountain is more than 100 feet high, and it covers nearly 72 acres. That's almost 60 football fields. The base of the mountain is surrounded by shantytowns. Payatas is where thousands of people work, live, play, and pray. It's their home. These people are called mangangahalig, which roughly translates to chicken scratcher. The tool of their trade is called a kahalig. It's a short, sharp hook with a handle. The top of the pile is the bottom floor of the Payatas economy. It's an economy based on recycling. Here, the mangangahalig gather the raw materials, plastic and glass bottles, aluminum cans, bits of metal, pieces of cardboard and paper, anything they can sell to recyclers.
And how much do you get for a bag that large?
Magkano mo
You fill that
pag
bag.
napuno mo yan, magkano kaya ano yan?
100 pesos.
It's 100 pesos.
100 pesos.
100 pesos. Oh, ingat pa, bubog yan.
100 Philippine pesos are worth about $2.
And those are recyclable.
Yes.
This man said it takes him all day to fill a bag with things recyclers will buy. On a good day, he might fill 2 bags.
But this is a better living than being a fisherman?
And gusto mo mas magandang kumita rito o kaysa maging fisherman ka? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's still better.
And that's the story of almost everyone working in Payatas. They've come here from all over the country. And as awful as this place is, they say it's an improvement over the dead-end poverty of their rural villages. Jerry and Arciela Abahuila came to Payatas 5 years ago, hoping to build a brighter future for themselves and their 9 children. They told me that back home they were farmers.
How long do they work out here every day?
Ilang oras kayo tatrabaho dito sa tambakan?
Mula umaga po hanggang gabi. Magabihan po kami dito eh.
From 7 o'clock to 7 o'clock in the evening.
Every day?
And they never take a day off. The working conditions they endure here are nothing short of hellish. Some people are lucky enough to have boots. Others are not so lucky. Fires like this one are for burning the plastic off copper wires, or to melt down computer parts to get at the small amounts of precious metals that can be sold to recyclers. That black smoke is packed with carcinogens. The smoke, the diesel exhaust, and the smell of the dump itself all combine for a scorching assault on your eyes, nose, and throat. But since the camera can't capture the smell of Payatas, take a look at this, and then try to imagine working on top of a mountain of it.
It's unbelievable. It's indescribable. My throat is just closing up. I don't know how these people are out here. I don't know how they can take it. God.
The trucks arrive 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, hundreds of them, and they're bearing thousands of tons of trash. The pickers recognize the ones arriving from better neighborhoods, and they're possibly carrying a more valuable load.
It's like a mad rush.
As my cameraman and I ran to keep up with the crowd chasing one of these trucks, we were struck by how friendly most of these people are. Some of them actually cheered us on as we ran along. After the rush, the pickers just wait patiently. There was no pushing or shoving or jockeying for position. I almost never saw anything like that.
Jesus.
Probably because there will always be another truck and more than enough garbage to go around.
Yeah, before it even hits the ground, they're in it.
And they're not only looking for things to sell to recyclers, they're looking for anything they can use to build their homes, to wear, or even, when things are bad enough, things to eat. On top of the pile, right in the thick of it all, there's an area called the cafeteria, where people can buy some lunch for a few pesos, and then they kick up their feet for a while, before resuming their terrible scavenger hunt, picking through what 15 million of Manila's more fortunate have thrown away. Rafael Saplan is a city engineer. He's worked at Payatas for almost 5 years, and he has some stories to tell.
The big story here, if they can get a whole bunch of money.
Money?
Yeah, money.
Actually find money?
Yeah, they can find money here. And some of them get real money, and sometimes they can get some jewelries.
There are legends of riches discovered in Payatas. These are stories that everyone's heard over and over. There's the one about the man who found a Rolex in the muck, or the time someone found a diamond ring. That story goes that the ring must have fallen from a wealthy woman's finger into her garbage can. There's even a story about a suitcase full of cash. Now, these stories might actually be true, but they have the ring of fairy tales or urban myths. Buried treasure is, of course, what everyone here dreams they might one day find while digging through yet another pile of trash. But of course, most of what turns up is anything but the stuff of dreams. It's more like nightmares.
An old grenade, something like that.
A grenade?
Yeah, an old grenade.
The group of boys who found that grenade apparently didn't know what it was, and they blew themselves up. And there have been other terrible discoveries.
Chop body of,
Arm?
yeah, maybe arm, maybe leg, something like that. And the so-called the police station will go here and to investigate,
Right.
something like that.
Right.
Everything that is unusual here at the disposal facility, we will connect it to the other agencies, government agencies.
But ultimately, I guess nothing is surprising. Anything can turn up here.
Yes, yes, yes.
7 years ago, Payatas itself turned up as a blip on the world's radar. A brief but unforgettably horrifying blip. On July 10th, 2000, at the height of typhoon season, a huge chunk of the mountain gave way, sending an avalanche of waterlogged garbage roaring down into one of the shanty towns at the base of the pile. At least 200 people were buried alive. After the disaster, Payatas was closed for a while. But as the garbage started to pile up around Manila, pressure mounted on city officials to reopen the dump. And within months, they did. And the Mangangahalig, the scavengers, came right back. The government has since imposed some order on the formerly free-for-all business of trash picking. The pickers are now registered and given IDs, though there's no money to issue them protective clothing, like boots or gloves or respirators. Children under 14 are not allowed in the dump, though they work on the fringes, sometimes climbing the fences to pick trash, or doing other menial tasks in the long, arduous chain of sorting and recycling. Officials say there are about 3,000 people registered to work in the dump. They're supervised and divided into shifts, day and night. Many have organized themselves into cooperatives. They share their profits and even pool their money to make small loans. So while this situation may appear utterly chaotic, with no unifying principles at all, many of these people are actually working together. To To avoid another landslide or garbage slide, the sides of the mountain have been graded and terraced using clay and gravel to make them less steep and more stable as the garbage boils away underneath.
You can feel the heat here coming up off the ground.
Yeah, because it's decomposing.
The
Because of-
methane.
Yeah, the methane.
In standing water, you can actually see the process.
You can see there's bubbles of methane coming up in the water.
As water slowly percolates down through the dump, it's transformed into a poison brown stew. It's called leachate. Much of it just runs right off Payatas into the streams at its base and eventually flows all the way downriver to Manila Bay. At the end of their long day, Jerry and Arciela balance their bags all the way down the long road off the mountain. At a sorting center, they sift through the day's haul together, and they reckon the recyclers will pay them between 50 to 100 pesos for all of this.
$1, $2. Day's work.